The night was soaked in rain and silence, the kind of silence that hides screams. Blood mixed with the rainwater, forming thin crimson trails on the cracked pavement. A man lay half-conscious against a wall, breathing shallowly, every exhale painted with pain. His name was Dante Moretti, a name that once made men tremble. The infamous Mafia boss who controlled half the city's underworld, now discarded like trash by his own men. The betrayal had been brutal and swift. His most trusted lieutenant, Marco, had set him up during a peace meeting. One moment Dante was raising a glass of whiskey, and the next bullets were flying. His empire, loyalty and power all gone in seconds. Now he was bleeding out in a dark alley, too weak to move, too proud to call for help. And then he heard footsteps. At first, Dante thought it was death itself coming for him, the soft, careful steps echoing through the alley. But when a faint, trembling voice called out, "Is someone there?" he realized it wasn't death, it was a woman, her white cane tapping lightly against the ground as she navigated through the darkness. "Go away," Dante croaked, his voice hoarse. "It's dangerous here." She didn't leave. Instead, she knelt beside him, rain soaking her dress. "You're hurt," she said softly, touching his shoulder with uncertain hands. "I can hear it in your breathing." He wanted to push her away. He was a monster, and she was innocence itself, but he couldn't. Not this time. Her name was Elena. She had been blind since she was 12, after a car accident that took her parents. She lived alone in a tiny apartment nearby, surviving on the little she earned tuning pianos for neighbors. She couldn't see the world, but she felt it. Every vibration, every sound, every heartbeat. That night she dragged the unconscious Dante into her small home, cleaning his wounds with trembling hands. She didn't know who he was, only that someone was suffering, and she couldn't walk away. When Dante woke, confusion and anger consumed him. The place was poor but spotless. He could smell coffee and hear the sound of raindrops on a tin roof. And then he saw her, a frail woman with clouded grey eyes, moving carefully with her cane. "Why did you help me?" he demanded. "Because someone once helped me when I thought I didn't deserve it," she said simply, "and everyone deserves one more chance." Her words hit him harder than any bullet ever had. Over the following days, Elena nursed him back to life. She never asked about his past, never judged his scars or his silence. Dante, in turn, found himself watching her, this blind woman who moved with such grace and courage. She had nothing, yet she lived with peace he had never known. But peace was not something men like him were allowed to keep. One evening, while Elena played her old piano, Dante heard the faint sound of footsteps outside. His instincts kicked in instantly. Through the window he saw men, his men, searching for him. They had come to finish what they started. "Stay inside," he whispered urgently. But Elena, sensing the tension, shook her head. "No, tell me what's happening." "They're coming for me," Dante said, "and if they find you here, they'll kill you too." She reached out, found his hand, and held it tightly. "Then we face it together." That simple gesture broke him. The man who ruled with fear was now trembling in the hands of someone who couldn't even see his face, yet somehow saw his soul. When the men burst in, guns ready, Dante fought like a cornered animal. He took down two, but a bullet grazed his side. Just as one of the men raised his gun to finish him, Elena stepped between them, her body trembling but unmoving. "Enough!" she cried. "He's not the man you think he is." The gunman hesitated, just long enough for Dante to strike. When it was over, the room was silent except for their breathing, but the damage was done. They couldn't stay. Dante knew more would come. He turned to Elena, his voice breaking. "You can't come with me. I bring danger wherever I go." Elena smiled faintly. "And you brought meaning where I had none." For the first time in years, Dante wept. They fled the city that night. He used what little power he had left to disappear, taking her to a quiet village by the sea. There, Dante rebuilt his life, not as a boss, but as a man. He worked in the docks, mending boats and learning to live without fear. Every evening, Elena would sit by the window, playing soft melodies on a second-hand piano he bought her. Sometimes he'd catch her smiling to herself, and she'd say, "You sound happier lately, Dante." He'd chuckle. I'm learning from the best. Years passed. The world forgot the name Dante Moretti, but Elena never did. To her, he wasn't a criminal. He was the man who found redemption in the arms of someone who couldn't even see him, yet somehow saw everything that mattered. One night, as they sat watching the sunset, her hand resting over his, she whispered, "Funny, isn't it? You had all the power once, and it destroyed you. And now you have nothing, yet you're free." He smiled, his voice gentle. "Because I finally understand what strength really is." Her head tilted. "What is it? Forgiving yourself." The waves crashed softly below, the wind carrying away their laughter. In a world built on shadows and violence, two broken souls had found something rare: peace, love, and a second chance.